Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we have a couple of Japanese-made flip-top petrol lighters advertising Illinois sports news. This is a very popular graphic that I've seen on many other lighters, including some classic Zippos from the 1950s. I have never read the Illinois sports news, nor am I familiar with it outside of seeing it advertised on vintage lighters. I am a big sports fan, or have been most of my life. Played sports when I was younger, and for most of my early life, most of my adolescence upward anyway, say from the time I was 9, 10, 11 years old up until well into adulthood, I read the sports page every single morning. Most of the time that was the Daily Oklahoman, sometimes the USA Today. We had some other local smaller papers out in the suburbs, Midwest City where I lived. Played football and baseball, and was even a bigger fan of watching both sports, college, pro. The lighter on the right is a Kobid brand. The one on the left here is unmarked. It is only marked Japan. The other one is marked, I believe, Kobid, Japan. And the one on the left is not two-sided. Seems like some of the Zippos that I've seen with this graphic were two-sided. But I never really had anything personally to do with horse racing, never really was a fan, cared about it. But when I was young, my old man and one of my uncles raised Arabian horses, and at one point they sent one of those off, seems like it was to Delaware maybe, to try their hand at racing that horse. I don't know whatever came of that. Both these lighters work all right. They still have their original wick, wadding. They have plenty of scuffs, dings, dents, paint loss, plating loss, corrosion, buildup. They both have 11 hole chimneys on each side, so that'd be 22 holes per lighter. We'll go ahead and pull these out of here and do a little comparison of the two together. They're not identical, and I don't try to put them in each other's case. Tried things like that before, and it typically ends up with something getting stuck where it shouldn't have been in the first place. So since this was the video that I was making, I just thought I would go ahead and compare them. And the one on the right has a little bit more short of a cutout. Doesn't go as, or doesn't, at least to me, look quite as long as the other one. But they're both very similar. I would say that the plain lighter, the lighter that is not marked, appears to be in a little bit better condition, and maybe even a little bit more well made. And that insert on it, which I believe it was the one marked with P35 or something 35, looks very similar or not identical to inserts that I've seen in Penguin flip-top lighters, I believe. I may be confusing them with another brand. I can't be for certain. Somebody's been watching for the last couple of years. They'll remember that mark that was on that insert. The one on the left is in a good deal better condition. Of course, like I said, it's only got the one side. but it's not missing as much of its paint. The red color paint anyway. They both seem to be about the same, otherwise on the darker paint. The dimples on the COVID lighter are a little bit deeper, a little bit cleaner looking on this unmarked Japan. So you can see the back side of both. And then the front spine, some corrosion on the lid or plating loss there on the lid of the COVID double-sided lighter. There you can see it has that logo and COVID Japan. One of these, I think it's the unmarked lighter, where the black looks a little bit more hazy. So while the red is missing from a good portion of the graphic on the COVID lighter, the black tends toward gray, or maybe it's just a little shadowy looking, a little hazy, not quite as well defined, not quite that true black color. It almost, in the video here, it almost has a greenish tint. That seems illogical. It says Illinois Sports News, famous little newspaper, 906-08 South Wabash Avenue, Chicago 5, Illinois. I'm not sure what that 5 would be for. Or the 90608. May have been before the advent of the zip code, which I believe was in 1963 or 1964. Or it could have just been left off, and that 5, I don't know what that 5. Some local way of denoting an area in Chicago. Maybe somebody who is from Chicago or is familiar with those sort of addresses during that time period can let us know. But that would not be a valid address today. But these are still very cool old relics, both of the tobacconista or smoking lighter related hobbies, and also for those who collect sports related items. A 2-for-1 opportunity that somebody ought to take advantage of. Until next time.